In the world of true crime streams and late night takes, lives a chubby baker chasing all his breaks. He fires up the mic every single day, tries to make it better in his own sweet way. The internet's a wild ride, full of twists and turns, but he keeps it rolling every lesson learned. Broken Baker, whoa, the little YouTuber who tries every day. Broken Baker, whoa, keeps on pushing forward, come what may. Good deeds shine on through the noise. Every effort moves him forward. Broken Baker, lighten up the chaos. He's just trying to share the facts and fun, diving into stories from dawn till done. From big cases to community chats, he brings the energy, no holding back. Broken Baker, the little YouTuber who tries every day. Broken Baker, keeps on pushing forward, come what may. Good deeds shine on through the noise. Every effort moves him forward. Broken Baker, keep on baking anyway. He's the Broken Baker, a real content creator, sharing stories from everywhere. Yo, Baker! Broken Baker! Every day he's out there streaming. Broken Baker! True crime tales and hot takes beaming. Good deeds shine on through the noise. Every effort moves him forward. Broken Baker, he's the one.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, what if any you might be, and welcome to day 2 in the Mario Fernandez Saldana trial. This is a case out of Florida where it's not as much as did he do it, more did he hire someone else to do it. And the guy he allegedly hired has previously pled guilty, but has retracted his guilty plea. That kind of muddies the water a bit. Mario used to be married to the ex-wife of the victim. He was, according to the defense, about to separate from the ex-wife. But she wanted to move to Washington State with the kids, and that's apparently why they hired a guy to pew him. If we go by what the rumors have been, they haven't really talked about that part yet in this case. But it's kind of a weird case because you have him coming first, then she comes next, and then the hitman comes last. The hitman comes last because, again, he pled guilty, he was a cooperating witness to begin with, and now he's not. And they have to find the other two guilty and then find him guilty later. What the hell do they do if he's found not guilty and they are found guilty? I didn't think about that yesterday. Hey, Cyber Chicken Sister. Hey, Jackal. But yesterday moved at a fair lick. They're not going into how he was shot as much because we are just here to establish a man was shot. Because this is not what he's accused of. He's not accused of pulling the trigger and unaliving the victim. But he has to be dead before this guy can have conspired to kill him. There have been other charges, amongst them child endangerment. A 2-year-old kid was in the car when it happened. child endangerment has been on the table before, but it was removed to kind of just streamline the case. So that's where we are standing right now. Yesterday, we had the victim's wife on the stand. That was a little bit hard. I got some lashback Tuesday from some people that I was a monster, saying that the brother shouldn't be allowed to cry in court. That's an opinion. I believe that justice shall always be blind. And if you allow these emotional outbursts, you are tainting the jury against the defendant. That's my opinion. You can have another opinion. We don't do echo chambers over here. That's not what we do. But you don't have to call me a sadistic pig in DMs. I understand where you're coming from, but thank you for calling me a sadistic pig that was just happy to see that poor man suffer. I'm not sure that person will be back today. But if you are, again, we can all have our opinions. Mr. Meattope. Tons is wanting some of that special Valhalla beer gel. Well, you have to, apparently, according to a disgusting piece of crap, you need to find a goat for that. Hello, Nina Canadian. But if you're here today, ask questions. That's why you watch it on a channel with someone who can talk. There will be CC on today, so at least that. And yes, I know we started an hour late, but that's more so we can just skip through if there's sidebars and breaks and stuff like that. I don't know if we're going to do words on screen or we're going to do two different streams again. YouTube is not fond of over 4-hour streams, so we'll see how we get there, or when we get there, if we get there.
Detective, you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
All right, this way, sir. All right, you may proceed.
Please, the court. Please introduce yourself to the jury.
My name is Shane Jarman. I'm a police officer with the Jacksonville Beach Police Department.
How long have you been so employed?
I've been employed with them for 8.5 years.
Give the jury an idea of your experience and background that allows you to be a police officer in Jacksonville Beach, Florida.
Well, first, I was a police officer in the state of West Virginia for 7 years. And in Jacksonville Beach, I've been there for 8.5 years. I'm a patrol officer, a field training officer, defense tactics instructor, a crime scene investigator, as well as a case instructor, drone pilot.
So I'm going to spend most of your time talking about your crime scene investigator. Is that also known as an evidence technician?
Yes, sir.
Explain to the jury what training you have that allows you to perform those functions.
So in order to become an evidence technician, you have to first express an interest in the evidence technician field. Then you attend a crime scene processing workshop, a digital photography workshop. Then you shadow the current crime scene investigators, evidence technicians for a while in order to get a good foothold. And then after that, you are released on your own in order to start processing scenes.
So is there a television program that's very popular called CSI?
There is, yes, sir.
Does that stand for crime scene investigation?
It does.
How do you
This guy is a weirdo. Why is he always smiling?
your duties differ from those of your TV counterparts?
Massively so. They dramatize everything on TV, as you all know, and realistically, it takes forever to process the scenes, not just within a 10, 15-minute window. It takes a long time.
And do you do the testing yourself?
I do not do testing myself. I just collect and preserve the evidence, and it's sent out for testing.
So in the TV shows, I think sometimes, the one time I watched it, the crime scene investigator actually solve the crime and interview witnesses and do things like that?
I do not interview any witnesses. I don't do anything on the forefront. All of my job is related back on the actual pieces of physical evidence.
So when you get to a particular scene, just generally speaking, has the scene already been evaluated by detectives and first responders as to what potentially you should collect?
Yes.
Try as best you can to explain to the jury how you go about conceptualizing the processing of a scene and what you target as potentially probative forensic evidence.
So once the scene is secured, we walk through with the detectives. We try to imagine how this occurred. We try our best not to, of course, disturb any evidence. We preserve as much as we possibly can. And once we figure out how we think it happened, we look for things out of the ordinary. And those things that stick out to us, those are marked as evidence, and we do try to collect those.
I'll give you an example just to give the jury an idea that you can't collect everything. If you were working, let's say, a home invasion robbery where the victims indicate they were robbed in their home, would you go and collect their toothbrush or things from their medicine cabinet as potentially forensically relevant?
No, sir. If it's something that looks like it belongs there, and we can say with almost absolute certainty that it belongs there, we do not collect it.
When you're talking about processing a scene in Jacksonville Beach on a street, like in this particular case, are you able to collect Sanctuary Boulevard and take it back to the police station?
As much as we would like to preserve it in its entirety, we cannot do that.
Explain to the jury why photography is so important for you.
Well, the old saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words, it's 100% true when it comes to photography. It preserves the scene as it is. I can sit here all day long and describe the scene to you, but when you look at a picture, that tells you the whole story right there.
And in this particular case, you were the, I guess, lead evidence technician on February 16th of 2022.
That is correct.
You processed the murder scene of Jared Bridegan.
I did, yes, sir.
Okay. And are you working with your fellow detectives to try to determine what and how to collect things?
Yes, sir.
The jury already knows that this was a very dark scene. Did you take a video, using a video camera? I guess it's not like a camcorder, right?
It's not a camcorder. It's our basic Nikon camera. It does have a video setting on there, and I use that.
You used to use video cameras. Okay. So the first thing we're going to show is what's been entered into evidence of State's Exhibit 3. You should be able to see it on your screen. The jury knows how dark it is. The light that we see before we actually play the video, is that going to be flashlights that you or your fellow officers are holding?
That is correct. That's me the flashlights to for the two officers next to me that were walking the scene with me.
And why do a video in addition to photographs?
Video also shows you a first-person view of the incident. I can show you a bunch of pictures, and as great as it is, seeing video live, it kind of plays it more better for everybody to fully understand what we're looking at.
Okay, Jack, we're going to play State's Exhibit 3. If there's something that you need to jump in and explain, feel free to do so, sir.
Hey, Dodo. This is riveting TV.
Officer John, I guess the focus is
just
user error.
It was, yes, sir.
I might stop covering the case. This is too emotional for me.
As we look out there, is that going towards Butler Boulevard?
It's going towards Sanctuary Parkway, which leads on to JTB.
Is that a detective's car?
Yes, sir.
Now, at this point, when you get to the scene, it looks like it's actually drizzling a little bit.
It is, yes, sir.
Does that play a role in your ability to collect evidence? Potentially.
Potentially, yeah, yes, sir.
And that drizzle was very light. It wasn't heavy rain.
No, sir.
Is that shell casing we're looking at?
Yes, sir.
I am so excited. This is going to be a great opportunity. I can't wait to get started. Amazing.
Are those little pieces of paper things that you have put down, your fellow officers, to mark those shell casings?
Yes, sir. My fellow officers put those down.
And we'll see them marked with yellow placards later.
Yes, sir.
Now you're walking northbound
Yes, sir.
on the southbound lane.
Yes, sir.
Back to where you started.
Yes, sir.
I got my soundboard to work. I just said it was so exciting.
And since we've seen the video, we're going to kind of race through these photographs just so the jury has an orientation and the record is clear as to what's been introduced. But we look at State's Exhibit number 4 here. Is that going to be from the northbound lane photographed onto the southbound lane with the victim's vehicle?
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 5 is going to be on that northbound lane, but further south towards JTV.
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 6, now you're on the southbound lane looking at the vehicle.
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 7, you're on the southbound lane looking at the vehicle from behind.
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 8, obviously it's much lighter with this. Are you using your flash to be able to lighten this area up?
Using the flash as well as we have crime scene lights that we do bring out in order to light the scene up a little bit better.
Okay, so you have your flash and a separate like spotlight.
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 9, you see the tire and the body,
Yes, sir.
just for the record. State's Exhibit 10 is from behind the vehicle.
Yes, sir.
Just say yes, I was going through it fast, but I want the record to be clear as to what's in evidence. So even though we see it's just a picture in State's Exhibit 11 of the covered body.
Yes.
State's Exhibit 12, another picture of the covered body.
Yes.
Do we also see those placards 3 and 4 that indicate potential pieces of evidence?
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 13, we uncovered the body and then see those placards 3 and 4.
Yes.
And do we see evidence of medical resuscitation attempts done by rescue on the victim's body?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 14 is at the victim's flip-flop.
It is.
And that's going to be marked by placard 6. Placard 6, correct?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. So then we also see some pink chalk. Is that so you can do laser measurements later?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 15, is this the shell casing marked by evidence placard 1?
Yes.
State's Exhibit, did I say 15, 16? You can say,
Yes.
I shouldn't lead you every time.
I say yes. It's showcasing for placard number 2.
I don't have anything that fancy.
State's Exhibit 17,
Yes.
it is what?
It is a showcasing marked by evidence placard 3.
State's Exhibit 4,
The showcasing.
I'm sorry, evidence placard 4, State's Exhibit 18.
It is a showcasing marked by evidence placard number 4.
State's Exhibit 19 is another picture of that flip-flop.
It is.
State's Exhibit 20 is a picture of the victim.
It is.
State's Exhibit 21 is a picture of the lower half of the victim with evidence placard 4 and 7.
Yes.
State's Exhibit 22, close-up of the victim's face.
Yes.
State's Exhibit 23 is to show the left shoulder of the victim.
Yes.
State's Exhibit 24, the shirt has been removed or lifted up from the victim to show the entry wound.
Yes.
State's Exhibit 25 is to show the victim's left hand.
Yes.
State's Exhibit 26 to show his left hand.
Yes.
State's Exhibit 27, the victim has been rolled over on his front to show the back of his head.
Yes.
28, the victim is rolled over to show the back.
Yes.
State's Exhibit 29, do we see a placard number 9?
Yes.
Now, in later photographs, we'll see that the pockets were turned out. Was that done by evidence technicians?
No, we
Excuse me, medical examiners.
Yes. Medical examiners are the ones who enter the pocket. We do not.
But when you got to the scene, the pockets were not turned out.
That is correct. They were in.
As depicted in Stage 29. And then we have placard number 9, is that going to be a spent projectile?
Yes.
Stage Exhibit 30, is that a close-up of that projectile?
It is.
Stage Exhibit 31, is this another view looking southbound on Sanctuary?
It is.
Stage Exhibit 32, is this going to be evidence placard 5, which is the tire?
It is.
And then a close-up of Stage 33 of that tire?
It is.
Stage 34 is going to be the victim's vehicle with the driver's door open.
Yes.
Stage 35 is a view of the victim's vehicle of the back seat
It is.
and the car seat.
Yes.
Stage Exhibit 36 is inside the victim's vehicle. And do we see 2 particular pieces of evidence? Actually 3. One is a frosty cup from Wendy's, and then apparent blood and an apparent bullet strike.
Yes.
Stage Exhibit 37 are close-ups of those inside the victim's vehicle.
Yes.
Stage Exhibit 38, do we also see blood droplets in the driver's side door of the victim's vehicle?
Yes.
Stage 39 is going to be the passenger vehicle that apparently was struck by a bullet.
Yes.
Stage Exhibit 40, do we see a bullet strike there?
Yes.
Stage Exhibit 41, now we know this, notice the difference between 40, which is at the scene, and 41, which is apparently at some garage. How did the vehicle get there?
It was towed by one of the records on rotation on that night and escorted by a property officer Choate to the secured property room.
So why do you further process the vehicle away from the scene?
We wanted to wait till the next day in order to see everything possible, as well as we were tired. We were like, let's take a little break, a little bit of breather, and then come back. And we processed it there in our back lot.
Do you make sure that the car is secure, the vehicle is secure during this process?
Yes, sir.
So State's Exhibit 41 is showing that you're beginning the processing at your lot in Jacksonville Beach.
That is correct.
State's Exhibit 42, I guess we've already semi-seen this because we see the blood on the, near the gear shift.
Yes.
State's Exhibit 43, we're starting to see bullet strikes.
Those are blood spots, yes, sir.
Excuse me, blood spots. You can see that with these, little white placards that indicate that's where you're seeing blood. Is that correct?
That is correct.
State's Exhibit 44, so it says BS4, that's gonna be blood spot 4.
That is correct.
Now we see, the jury can differentiate between the blood spots which say BS, and then the placard that says 1 is going to be a bullet defect.
Yes.
And that's inside the victim's vehicle.
Yes.
Stage 45. Stage 46 is again a bullet defect with the shattered passenger window.
Yes.
Exhibit 47 is bullet strike 2.
Yes.
Exhibit 48 is, I guess you have taken out part of the door to show that bullet strike.
Yes.
And why did you take out
There's a 2-year-old kid in the car, and the bullets went into the. Oh, for fuck's sake!
the door? Are you looking for the actual projectile?
That is correct.
Exhibit 49 and another shot of the door taken, the inside paneling of the door taken off so we can see the bullet defect.
Yes.
State's Exhibit 50, what'd you find?
We found a projectile inside the actual door, on the very bottom of the door.
State's Exhibit 51, is that a photograph of that?
It is.
State's Exhibit 52, placard 10 we were looking at there.
It is a projectile that was found when I was trying to open the glove box up. It just fell straight out.
So it wasn't there until you opened the glove box.
That is correct.
So it kind of fell. Does that correspond generally from that first bullet where it said number 1?
Yes.
And just visually speaking, this placard 10 and State's Exhibit 52 generally look like the same projectile found underneath the victim's body at the scene.
It does.
State's Exhibit 53, do we see that corresponding bullet defect near the glove box?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 54 is another shot of placard 10.
Yes.
State's Exhibit 55 is a close-up of that projectile.
Yes.
State's Exhibit 56 is the tire that you recovered from the scene.
It is.
State's Exhibit 57, another photograph of that tire.
Yes.
So we have a couple things to show you. Can I push the witness, John? The first, and I guess most interesting, is going to be State's Exhibit 90. May the witness step down.
Sure.
You can-
Officer, if you would, there's a microphone there, just clip that.
We can share too, Your Honor.
No, don't take it off. Don't take it off. No, you're gonna ruin it. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I got it. I'll stay here.
Officer, go ahead and clip it on your, give him a moment.
Hear me? Good. Good.
Sounds good.
All right.
Now clip it on your belt. There you go.
You've done it your whole life. Good job. All right, so State's Exhibit 90, is this the tire that you recovered from the scene?
Yes, sir.
Explain to the jury how you went about processing this tire.
So once it was recovered at the scene, it was transported to the station by Officer Choate, Property Officer Choate. The next day I came in, unpackaged it, unsealed it, and I took photographs of the front side here. And when it came to processing the tire for possible DNA evidence, per our policy, I wore gloves as well as using sterilized water. And to make sure there's no further cross-contamination, we also go an extra step. We put on 2 pairs of gloves between each and every swab. So I went through almost a half a box of gloves just to process this tire.
And when you say process it to look for DNA, we see in State's Exhibit 92, it looks like a Q-tip. Explain to the jury how you use State's Exhibit 92 to process for DNA.
So first things first, once I labeled the package the way I want it to be for whichever piece of evidence I'm processing, I opened with the package up wearing double latex gloves. I pulled the Q-tip out. I put on some sterilized water from a sterile tube. I put it on the tip of the Q-tip, and I processed whatever I want to process. In this case here, it was clean areas on the tire that seemed out of place for a dirty tire.
And State's Exhibit 92 is going to be from the inside of the tire, which is going to be the part of the metal that's facing the jury right now.
Yes.
And so you essentially take a
Hello.
I'll just turn it around like this because we have a what's referred to as the valve stem. Was that an area that you thought maybe someone could touch?
Yes, the valve stem cover, the cap itself. If anybody's still up a tire.
What's going on? This is what happens when you take the microphone.
is one of the things that you looked for on the victim's Volkswagen Atlas, that there was a potential tracking device on that vehicle.
Yes, sir.
And how did you go about searching for a tracking device?
So, first things first, I took our tablet that we use for the Oscar device, as well as our laser mapping. I turned on the Wi-Fi signal to see if there's anything that was pinging towards the Wi-Fi. I also turned on the Bluetooth to see if there's anything like an Apple AirTag, anything of that nature that would give off a signal. I then also downloaded a tracker app for a scanner app, that would actually detect possible trackers.
And were there any trackers that were placed on the vehicle?
No, sir. Not that I was able to find.
And was there an Apple AirTag that was on the victim's keys?
There was, yes.
And well, that's okay. I already said. That's Ms. Stifler. Anything else? That's all the questions I have here.
All right, thank you. Cross-examination.
Did you need the pictures, Mr. Dresser?
Thank you for offering. I don't think so. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good, sir.
Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir.
So just real simply put, you spent a lot of time collecting evidence in this case. Is that?
Yes, sir.
And you did so carefully?
Yes, sir.
And you did so that you could help all of the officers in your department, including the detectives, figure out who committed this murder, correct?
Yes, sir.
So the idea when you collect DNA is that you do.
Is there an echo? I see two people talking about an echo. I don't have an echo anywhere.
Do it carefully,
Yes, sir.
and you do it in places where you can hope to connect that piece of evidence to a particular person.
Yes, sir.
So that later, and in this case, the jury may be able to hear that somebody's DNA was found on that tire,
Yes, sir.
and that somebody may be connected to all the other evidence that you collected.
Yes, sir.
That's the whole idea, right?
Yes, sir.
And you did that with all of your training and experience to make sure that the detectives in this case could solve this crime.
Yes, sir.
I don't have any further questions for you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Dresser. Any follow-up? All right, may the witness be excused.
The witness is excused for now, subject to recall.
All right, officer, do you know what that means?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. You can step down, stay in touch with the attorney. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this state will call its next witness.
State calls Corporal Brian Wallace.
Corporal Brian Wallace, please. Good morning, Corporal. If you can walk all the way forward.
Your Honor, we're doing a little computer transfer, so we may need a minute or two.
Sure. Wait. Stand here. Raise your right hand to be sworn in.
Corporal, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
All right, sir, if you make your way to the witness stand, while the attorneys are getting everything situated, make sure that if you turn toward.
No, but if there's an echo, I should hear it too because I get the court audio before you do it. But it's I can't see. I can see when I speak that it goes on my mic. I have my sound open right now, and then when I play this,
the monitor and
it
keep the
shows that it
microphone.
plays court.
Okay,
Just
feel comfortable.
if I can mute something. No, I think I took your audio away. I don't know.
Good morning, Corporal.
I don't have that.
Good morning.
Here.
Could you please introduce yourself to our jurors?
I'm Brian Wallace. I'm currently the traffic sergeant with Jacksonville Beach Police.
And how long have you been with the Jacksonville Beach Police Department?
Over 15 years.
And during your time there, what positions have you held?
Started off July 11th, 2011, patrol, and then I spent about 2 years on patrol, went to the downtown Cape unit. It's the community assisted policing effort, basically a downtown bar unit.
Again, because I changed that, my audio is weird in my end. So I put the enhancer for, it was at 8, now I put it at 5. Is the audio okay still?
There for about 5 years, and then went to the Special Investigations Unit in 2018, 2019, where I spent about 5 years there. And then in April 2022, I got promoted to sergeant, and now I manage the traffic unit at Jacksonville Beach Police.
And I want to ask you a few questions about February 16th, 2022, and your involvement in the investigation into the murder of Jared Bridegan.
Sure.
Did you participate in?
I can hear the hissing sound. It's but when I then boost the hissing sound becomes worse. But can you still hear court audio clear and fine when I have it at this? I have it at 4 now. Just let's do a check and see if that takes away some of the static.
The investigation and the capacity of collecting and putting into property surveillance,
There is a hiss.
ring camera, home surveillance camera videos.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you respond to Sanctuary Boulevard South on February 16, 2022?
I did not on the 16th.
When did you become involved with the investigation?
The very next day, February 17, 2022, about 8 o'clock, we had a briefing in the morning, and I was in special investigations at the time. We were in charge of canvassing the area around the shooting scene, and we all had blocks of areas where we would go canvass, knock on doors, try and find surveillance and things like that. And so that was my responsibility for a better part of the next month.
Okay. Could you give us an estimate, if you know, how many houses do you think you yourself and members of Jacksonville Beach went to looking for surveillance or eyewitnesses?
Hundreds. Couple hundred-ish. Myself knocking on doors, maybe 50, 60, something like that.
And some neighborhoods in Jacksonville, when police knock on doors, people aren't all that excited to answer. Did you have any difficulties with people in this area being cooperative with your investigation?
I would say most people were pretty cooperative. There's some that, didn't really want to come to the...
Yeah, the audio is better from the courtroom today, but I put the enhancer on like yesterday, but I had it at 8. So if there is that little bit of static, it'll blow the static out the water. So as long as you can just hear it, and it's not that you have to turn off on your TV to 500, then it's good.
The door, they might talk to you through a screen, or they open the door and kind of wrap their hands to it, not really sure why you're there. But once you tell them who you are, what you're trying to accomplish, and kind of a little bit about what's going on, they're usually pretty helpful.
How did you decide what houses that you were going to go to and see if they had surveillance?
That was started kind of at the 8 o'clock briefing on the 17th, and we, I don't know if quadrants is the right word, but just kind of areas of responsibility that I was responsible for and other members of special investigations. And so we started at the homicide scene, and then we kind of worked out from there. It was determined that we would kind of start at the scene and work our way up to the last known location. And so where I started was, I think, 4089 America, or 4098, one of the two. And that's at the very end of America. And abuts out right to JTV.
Okay, I'm going to show you what's marked and entered into evidence of State's Exhibit 209. And do you recognize this area?
That's Jacksonville Beach.
And this is a Google map of the area. Can you show us kind of indicating, you can mark on your finger, like touch screen, where you began, where the homicide scene is and where you began canvassing?
Sorry. This little circle right here is the incident scene, and kind of this little stretch of area is America. And right where this X is kind of 4089 America, and that was the first house that I went to. And then after that, for the first day, I do believe it was in kind of this area, this Ocean Terrace, Grande Boulevard, Jacksonville Drive, other portions of America. And then, through the next several days and weeks, we kind of moved north on America, hit, houses on pretty much each side, kept on going up through America. You want to keep going? Or just stop there? Okay. Yeah, then we...
No, just, I wanted to get an idea of the geographic area you covered.
Sure. Sorry. This is the kind of homicide location. And then we went up through America and did a few houses on Evans Drive. There's actually like West Wind, which is this, and East Wind. We did some houses on West Wind Drive. And then kept on going. Hit Seabreeze, which is this location right here, and then now we're getting into Fairway Lane, and go out through Fairway Lane, and then it turns into 15th Street at this location, and then there's a kind of a northern portion of the map. But
I have another portion of the map I'll show you in a minute. On February 17th, did you or the team with Jacksonville Beach Police have any information as to a suspect description or a vehicle description? How is it that you chose this route?
I think it's just investigative effort. You start at the X, right? You start where the incident happened, and you kind of work up from there. And you're trying to find some type of evidence, video of, was this captured on someone's home surveillance system? And so it would make sense to start in the America Avenue because it is a pretty wooded area, right? I mean, on this location right here is woods, and then there are some houses on America, and then there's a few on that Sanctuary way north, and then you get into Sanctuary, but it is pretty wooded except for that area on America Avenue, 40, 67, 89. 73 houses right there.
You're following a route of what appears to be kind of, for this area at least, some of the thoroughfare streets that someone would drive. Was that intentional? Can you explain to the jury the thought process behind that?
I'm sorry, you're saying going from like the thought process of this route?
Yes.
Yeah, last known location, right? So he dropped off kids at the residence, which is on Marsh Inlet. It's a northern location of this map.
I'm going to show it to you right now. I'm going to show you states 2 and 8.
Okay.
And from the bottom of this map, is that the end of where we left off previously? So we see Fairway Lane here that you had circled previously.
That's correct. So Fairway Lane, then we go up, Fairway turns into 15th, it's kind of one and the same. And then we go up, and then right here, we're at Marsh Inlet, last known location.
Okay, and this pin here indicates the residence that you all had information was the last place Mr. Bridegan had been seen.
That is correct.
That would be 1511 Marsh Inlet Court.
Correct.
In this area, where else did you canvass for video surveillance?
There's a golf course right here, so this is kind of out. A few, I don't think any houses on Marsh side went, and again, this is kind of a group effort, right? This is not all just me. There's several detectives that are doing this canvassing. And then there's some detectives did on Marsh Inlet, I think a few houses on 15th, but we tried to hit the majority, if not all of the houses on that route.
Did you gather any surveillance? Obviously, this is the golf course. Did you gather any surveillance from Cradle Creek Preserve, from Shutter Avenue, or any of these areas?
So eventually, yes, at the police department, which is kind of right here, we have some surveillance that we were able to pick up. This is Discovery School right here. Their cameras this is later in the investigation, found out that their cameras were not working. And then there were nothing here in the golf course. Cradle Creek's cameras were down from a previous tropical storm. I think a tree hit the pole or power outage, whatever, and they were not operational at the time. On this route, specifically, there's one house, I think it's 25 Fairway, where we were able to get some video eventually in case. And I think that's kind of the first one where we were able to use that for, I guess, not the first video that we obtained, but one of the ones that we used.
And we're going to show the jury
Stop sniffing into the microphone.
video compilation in a moment that you've previously seen before today, correct?
Correct.
The video they're going to see, you mentioned that this house on Fairway Lane is kind of in this particular area, one of the few cameras you were able to get surveillance of the victim's vehicle and would eventually be identified as a suspect vehicle. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you mentioned that there were no working cameras here at Cradle Creek.
That's correct.
No working cameras here at the Discovery School.
That's correct.
And eventually, did you obtain some video surveillance footage from this apartment complex?
Yes, we did. That's, I believe, 1712 Pablo Hamlet. This is a assisted living facility. We were able to get some video from Pablo Hamlet. And then if you go even further north of this and kind of go a little bit west, we also obtained video from 1712 Beach, which is Taco Lou. They had some exterior surveillance that was also working. So as far as up north here, if you kind of like look up here, there's Taco Lou on Beach Boulevard, and then you turn down on 15th, and we ended up getting Pablo Hamlet and some at the police department. That's really about, now we're getting into some public storage areas kind of in this portion of the map, and there's other areas on 9th Street where we also obtain. Do we go into that too, or just kind of?
Sure.
Okay, yeah, so there's, if you go to this 9th Street area, this is again further on in the investigation, we were able to obtain some video from some Jack's Refrigeration, which is at the corner of 7th Avenue South and 9th Street. There's a home on, I think it's 82, 12th Avenue South, might be 13th. We used that as well, and then I think public storage, we also had some surveillance from there, and that was about it on this map.
Okay, so for this particular area, we know we've got surveillance here, Taco Lou, which is up here.
Correct.
This area, and this area.
That, I believe that's correct. It might be not 12th, might be 13th.
Sure. And just for the jury's information, it wasn't for lack of trying. You didn't skip houses along these routes or anything like that. It was just where businesses in this area or houses in this area actually had working cameras that face the street.
Correct, working cameras. You will find that a lot of people don't pay for the subscription service, so they only have just live video feeds and things like that.
And so when you went to visit people, tell me more about that. Were there occasions where somebody had a camera in the front that you noticed, but they don't have historical footage?
Sure. A lot of people, they have cameras, but they only pay for example, I did a couple of cases that were like Google Nest. There's a free system that you get, and you get, I think, 3 hours worth of data. Everything else after that is watched. Most of the cameras now are subscription-based, so if you don't pay for the subscription, then they're not going to hold on to that data. The videos that we did find some people have like the Lorex systems, or the ones you would find that have like an internal terabyte or just an internal hard drive that would hold video. And those places were the ones that had historical data that was longer than, say, 3 hours, a day, a week, things like that. So it kind of varied. Some people had data for 7 days. Some people had data for longer than that. It was not a lot, but a good portion, I'd say.
In collecting this video surveillance, and I understand there were other detectives working with you, did you all make efforts to ensure that the time and date stamp on the videos you collected were correct?
Correct. There's a few that you'll see some time and dates that are incorrect, and some people just don't manage their home security system, or when they start it up, they don't change it properly, and it's not synced up, right? So Ring's usually pretty good about that, but other of those home systems that you can buy online, they're inaccurate. So there's a few, like the Pablo Hamlet one is going to be a little off. The I think it's 3551 America, which is the Slayman house, that one I think is also a little bit off, and then a few here and there are not exactly accurate, so we had to adjust for that, right? So we're using our phone to just make sure that like, okay, what we're looking at right here, we need to do some quick cop math and find out that, this is the time that we're working within. And so sometimes we had to use that math and go back in time and we go, okay, this is the actual time of the video. It's not exactly the time. It's in the top right, top left, wherever it is.
When you collected videos and ensured the time and date stamp was correct, if it was not correct, did you document that in reports?
I don't remember. I think, I don't know, I did or somebody else might have, but it was at some point transcribed onto a piece of paper that was handed over to one of the lead detectives. And that way they knew the information that they were looking at was chronological. So they didn't see a video like, oh, this doesn't make any sense, right? So we're looking at a video that doesn't have a right timestamp, but we would inform them that, hey, this is off X number of hours, X number of minutes, just FYI for you.
So information, if a timestamp was off, that information was collected, it was relayed to detectives so that everybody was aware of the correct time for each video collected.
That's correct.
If you saw a camera in a house and nobody answered the door, did you all make multiple efforts to go back and retrieve video?
That's correct. I think if you look at my first supplement, you'll see that there's several houses that I went to that I didn't, nobody answered the door, and which is, kind of common during the day, people go to work. And so we went back, or at least I did, and all the other detectives, I'm sure you can ask them, but they, the additional supplements were follow-ups where I went back to the houses that we didn't have any, no contact with, right? So whether there were cameras or not, I went back, and if the second time they didn't have, they didn't answer, or they weren't home, we left business cards, put the number on the back of the business card, put it in the door, call me. At that point, that was really the continuing follow-up. We didn't badger these people and go back, 3, 4, 5 times. But we did make a pretty concerted effort. If we saw a ring camera, if we saw surveillance on the east of the house, we would try to find out, where that person was, that we could get phone numbers for them using electrical cut-ins or historical data, things like that. So
once you all collected all of these videos, did you and other members of the Jacksonville Beach Police Department start reviewing video footage?
Correct, yes.
What were you looking for on initial review?
The first 2 houses we went to on America, we're looking for anything, right? We like to capture the incident as it happened. If we could capture, the homicide happening, that would be priority number 1. And that was pretty quick. That was first day. At 4067 America, that's Trent Waterman's house. That's the third one down America. There was a ring camera. I think it's a floodlight captured on the second floor of the house. And when I went into Mr. Waterman's house, he let me access his iPad. We pulled it up on his iPad. And we went through some videos, and there was the first video, right, where there's a truck that passes by that triggers because it's a motion activated camera, and
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
the video that you'll see is a loud gunshot, just one shot, and then there's a few seconds that go by, and off in the distance you can see a stopped car. I'm just kind of going into it. There's a silhouette that walks in front of the car, starts walking, and then picks up pace. I believe starts running, not an incredibly sprint, but definitely running, and they're running away from the parked car.
You have a great recall for the names and addresses of these people that correspond to the videos.
This is what I did for an entire month or month.
Right. So you mentioned this one, and this is a particularly important video because it depicts the homicide. Can you generally indicate for the jurors on this map where that resident's home was, where you got the video from?
It's not on the screen.
There we go. Is that on your screen now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So right here we've got this. It's the 4067 America. It's this little squiggly line right here. It's right about right there.
And you mentioned something about motion activated. Was that a common occurrence when you were collecting video that most home surveillance equipment is motion activated rather than just continuous?
That's correct. That's a fair statement.
Can you explain to the jury what that meant in terms of your investigative efforts?
Yeah, so it's tough, right? I mean, you're the home surveillance ones that are hardwired that have hard drives. They have continuous video feed, and those are easy, right? You can pick up hours long worth of data, but when it's motion activated, however long the camera goes for, whether it's 50 feet, 60 feet, it only activates when there's something in front of it. And people can dictate those camera systems how they want to. So if it's a car, if it's a person, that's up to the original homeowner. So it is trying. And sometimes, they're not perfect, right? So that's where we found a lot of videos were only motion captured, which is just a little 30 seconds before, 30 seconds after. And that's how a lot of those were.
And you mentioned specifically this video that captured a portion of the homicide. It did not capture all 4 gunshots, correct?
That's correct. Just the very last one. And it's because I believe it's Mr. Carney, that's the house in between the very last one on America, which this is, I forget his name, but this is Mr. Carney's house. He actually was driving home at the time and pulled into his driveway. Said he heard gunshots and went into his driveway. And he's the car that triggered the motion activation. So if he doesn't drive, but for him doing it, that motion is not activated and that camera does not exist.
And we would not have a video of the homicide. All right, Corporal Wallace, I'm going to show you what's been marked and entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 91. This is a compilation video of surveillance clips. Once you identified a shooter on foot, what else did you look for that became of evidentiary significance in those videos? You were looking for the victim's vehicle.
Yeah,
Explain to the jury how your investigation developed from there.
Yeah, so we have a video, and then we're just going backward. We're trying to just, figure out the pattern and which route he drove, right? The last known location to where he was from there. So that's the first thing. And now we have, okay, this definitely looks like a suspect, right? Running away from the scene of a homicide location. So, all right, he's running south towards JTB. That's pretty much an interstate, right? So at that point, he's either.
Yes.
Oh. Sorry, the suspect.
You can refer to it as, at the time you had not identified this figure on screen.
At the time, we had not identified this figure that was running away from the
Come on.
homicide location. So the suspect is going to run into an interstate, and at that point, they either take a right, which is west over the bridge, or they have to go back east, back into Jacksonville Beach. And the first road that they're going to hit is Grande Boulevard. And at that road, they either turn back down Grande and go back towards Jacksonville Drive, or they kind of continue up and they're going to wind up going towards South Beach Parkway. So we're trying to find that figure, right? Either they got picked up or they're still on foot, or they're in hiding.
You had a description and a known vehicle belonging to the victim in this case, Jared Bridegan, a black Volkswagen Atlas. Did you also look for surveillance clips of Mr. Bridegan's Atlas?
Correct. Yes. That was the route that we established down America and Jacksonville Drive and the 15th Street, Fairway Lane, Seabreeze, and things like that.
And the killers or shooter left behind a tire in a road, and at some point, did somebody at Jacksonville Beach theorize that tire belonged most likely to a pickup truck, a Ford F-150?
Correct. We went through I don't think I was the one that figured out, or at least believed that it was to a life-size pickup truck or a Ford, but that was deduced through our investigation.
So with that information, what did you start to look for on these video clips?
We looked for other, just other trucks, light-size trucks. But the real, I guess, aha moment was we were sitting in detectives, and we had gathered a lot of video at the time, and we used, we went back. I say like an hour and a half back in time, and one of the detectives who was sitting in the same room as me kind of noticed a vehicle that was looking, or that just acted a little different at the 4067 video and that Trent Waterman's video. Because not only did we get the shooting video, we went back a couple hours before, a couple hours after. You don't know what you have, right? And so he noticed this vehicle, truck actually, that was operating unusually in that stretch of Sanctuary Boulevard, and then the truck passes in one direction and then comes back another. And so once we kind of identified that was unusual, we started to really look at that vehicle, and that's kind of what started the blue truck of our investigation.
And that vehicle that you said was driving in an unusual manner before the homicide, what was unusual about the manner it was driving?
I would say it's just kind of, I want to say stop for no reason, because there could be a reason that you would slow down in that area, but it wouldn't be because there's a stop sign, a yield sign, or a crosswalk. But there's really no reason, unless a squirrel runs in front of your car, to slow down to that length in that area.
And when you say that area, what are you referring to specifically?
Sanctuary Boulevard, going towards the JTB on-ramp. Most of the cars are going to the JTB, and they're going to jump on the entrance ramp and head west over the bridge, because you can't go east, right? And so just going slow, the way that vehicle was traveling was unusual, is the term I would use. And then it actually turned back and does a U-turn, which again is pretty unusual. Most vehicles turn right and they go west over the bridge, but this truck did not. And it went back and came back Sanctuary Boulevard, and then kind of paused again, fairly unusually, not at a stop sign, not at a crosswalk. And so that really piqued our interest with this truck.
And that was appeared to be a blue pickup truck.
We determined to be a blue two-tone, top blue, bottom gold pickup truck, older model Ford F-150.
Once you identified that truck, when going through this surveillance video, did you look to see if there were occasions when Jared Bridegan's Atlas and a blue two-tone pickup truck were together on camera?
Yeah, we found that out pretty quickly after we really started looking at the blue truck, where we essentially, once we went back, right? So we started at the homicide location and then went back towards the last known location. And at 25 Fairway, you'll see the blue truck, and that's in front of Jared Bridegan's Atlas. And this is on the way from the last known location to the eventual homicide scene. And then we followed it and obtained other video that also kind of corroborated. Same blue truck, gold, two-tone, blue top, gold bottom, through several residents and home surveillance pre-homicide.
Were you ever able, in your review of the surveillance video collected, to make out a tag number on that vehicle?
No tag number. We went through some pretty extensive efforts, took a trip to Orlando to an FDLE task force for some type of video enhancement. We couldn't find a tag number. We even sent a lot of compilations to the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office. They had some type of video enhancement and things where they could try to zoom and see the tag, but we were unable to capture that.
And at this time, back in February of 2022, did the Jacksonville Beach jurisdiction have license plate readers?
No.
And can you explain to the jury if they're not familiar, what is a license plate reader?
It's a moment in time snapshot that captures alphanumeric characteristics of your license plate and your vehicle. occasionally they can go into more than that and use AI to actually figure out what kind of vehicle you have, like a truck or a car or a semi and things like that. But no, we did not have them in 2022. We do have them now, but did not.
The video we're about to watch, there are several clips that are strung together in time order based on the corrected timestamps. Have you reviewed this video yourself?
Yes.
And there were many, many, many clips collected, and there are many trucks in Jacksonville Beach. A truck's not a unique vehicle.
Right.
As best you can say, the clips we're about to see, were you able to, with some degree of reasonable certainty, identify those as being very similar or consistent with the truck, the suspect truck?
Absolutely. Older model, blue top, gold bottom, two-tone F-150s around that same time. It's, we don't have a ton of those. And so that was with, like you said, pretty much some consistency. Yes, the same truck.
Were any video clips included in this compilation that you could not reasonably say were that truck specifically? Maybe there wasn't enough detail to be viewed that you could see it was two-tone or the size or anything? Just...
Well, I think pretty much everyone in the video, you'll see that it's two-tone.
Okay. All right, Your Honor, state published states 91.
Yes. Is it on the juror screen? Can you publish still?
Yes. Sorry, it's still opening. All right. Confirm, can everybody see the still shot?
The doodle is still there.
Okay.
The doodle. The doodle doodle.
All right, I'm going to ask you some questions as we view this, Corporal.
Sure.
Beginning with, we see these little thumbtacks here. Do those indicate the addresses of the residences and businesses that you obtained surveillance from?
It's just one, but yes.
Yeah, overall in this
Overall,
video.
correct.
What we're looking at right now, you mentioned earlier, you did retrieve surveillance from Taco Lou located at 1712 Beach Boulevard.
That's correct. I actually did. I got this one. So yes.
Okay. I'm going to begin publishing. I'm pausing it at 15 seconds. Corporal, we see a blue Ford truck driving down driving down Beach Boulevard on the Taco Lou camera, and that is one of the surveillance clips you identified as potentially being a suspect truck in this case.
That's correct.
And we see the Google map of the area. We see that south on 15th Street to Fairway Lane. Does that correspond with the map you showed us earlier of where Jared Bridegan would have left Marsh Inlet and gone south?
That's right.
Down Fairway Lane. And here in this area to the left, is that Cradle Creek area that
It's
does not
that
have
Cradle
any
Creek
cameras?
area. Small little public parking lot, right here, 5-6 spaces. There was a camera here again, not operational.
Okay. But there's a little, where you circled, there's a small parking lot right there.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any homes or businesses there?
No.
What is Cradle Creek?
It's a park. It's just a preserved walk-through nature trail. Good way for it.
So the parking lot is at the entrance of the nature trail.
That's correct.
Stop sniffing.
Resuming playing, we see the Fairway Lane on the map. Then we see a pin for 25 Fairway Lane. And at the bottom, we have the timestamp notated. Would that have been the correct timestamp that you verified when you were collecting videos?
Correct.
So this is 6:36 p.m. and the homicide occurred at 7:52.
52, correct.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Ooh, sorry.
Yes. The timestamp was 6:34 p.m. and what time was the homicide?
1952, 7:50.
Which is 7:52 p.m. in non-military time. Now we're seeing at America Avenue, 6:57 p.m. And Corporal, can you describe what you observed in this video that caused you to collect it and believe it to be of evidentiary value?
Yeah, it's the older model two-tone F-150, blue top, gold bottom.
And moving on the same road, a different camera at 18:41, which would be 6:41 p.m.
Right. Pretty good shot of the two-tone there.
And I paused it here at 2 minutes in, and we can see a two-toned blue pickup truck.
Well, if people get mad about you saying that her hair is parted the wrong way, I said she looked like a rat yesterday. You're fine.
Resuming playing, we're at 2743 America Avenue. And this Nest camera indicates this is 641:15.
Did they go back to 1997 and do a Google Photoshop course? Because I like the transitions things that we learned back in the day.
10 p.m. And again, Corporal, are we seeing that blue two-tone truck?
Blue two-tone truck.
And we see here 6:41:47 p.m. And this is a house on America Avenue.
This
Is
was
that correct?
Kelly Slam's house, that's correct.
And here, Corporal, do we see a two-toned truck, passing through on this video?
Blue top, blue bottom.
Can we see that again? Oh, I want to see that again.
And here, Corporal, do we see a two-tone truck, passing through on this video?
Blue top, blue bottom.
That's hard to see. That was a two-tone truck.
I'll show that again with the time bar out of the way.
Hey, how are you doing?
And at the bottom, we see in the right-hand corner, actual time and a timestamp. Is that one of those examples of you all correcting to make sure the time is accurate for these videos?
Correct. This was one of those home surveillance hard drives.
If you need an update on the case, let me know. I'll update you.
Resuming playing, we're going south on America Avenue. And then we see Sanctuary Boulevard. Here, I'm going to pause briefly. Before we get to the video, can you indicate for the jurors where the homicide scene was, if we're looking at the map on this video?
So it's back up in this area. This Sanctuary Wishbones, it's one-way traffic, so I'm just gonna mark on it again.
Sure.
It's one way here, and then this is also one way in that direction.
And if you exit onto, this is J. Turner Butler down here?
That's correct, and that's what I was saying earlier, is that you would head west onto JTB. You can't, unfortunately, you can see it based on this picture, but you can kind of deduce based off of the traffic signals on the roadway, like you can only turn west. You can't go back and turn east. So again, doing a U-turn here, not unheard of, but unusual.
Okay. And this 4067 America Avenue, is that the video that we were discussing earlier was significant because it actually captured the homicide?
That's correct, that's Trent Waterman's house.
So this ring footage is dated 1843, which would be 6:43 p.m.
This is what I was, sorry.
Go ahead.
What I was talking about earlier, just pretty unusual for that truck. You can again see the characteristics of it right there. To slow down in that location, again, could there be something in the road or, a reason to slow down? I'm sure there could be, but it's just unusual to record.
I'm going to back it up 10 seconds.
Stop
20 seconds,
sniffing.
actually. So this video is not continuous, it skips. Was that how you collected it?
Correct.
And is that because of what we discussed earlier, that if you have motion down here, people coming out, motion activates it?
That's correct. I think you'll see Mr. Waterman is moving or doing something. He has a dolly in this video. He's moving back and forth in the camera. It's detecting motion.
So when the screen says 10 seconds later, that means there is no corresponding video for that time frame because there's no motion down here activating the camera.
That's correct.
We do see that truck slowing down.
Down, right.
And is
almost comes to a stop, it looks like.
Where it slowed down, this area here, is this where the homicide occurred?
That's, yes.
And 6:43 is about an hour and 10 minutes prior to the homicide.
Right.
And we see that truck again, and we see the brake lights coming on again.
Yes, correct. There is a stop sign, but it's much further.
So there's no stop sign right there where it's braking?
Not right there. And you'll see, you kind of go up, we're still going up, still going up. Actually, I take that back. I'm not sure if there's a stop sign here at this location. But again, this is the intersection where one would slow down to turn left, right.
Understood. Then we have 3940 Grande Boulevard. This is at 6:44 p.m.
Right.
And we see that two-toned vehicle, and in this shot, we can see a very good shot into the bed of that vehicle.
Correct.
And it appears to be an object in the bed of that vehicle.
There's definitely an object in the bed of that truck.
How can you see that?
And in this video on Grande Boulevard at 6:45 prior to the homicide, the vehicle, would you say, appears to be driving a reasonable speed for the neighborhood?
I couldn't tell. It was Pete something or Paul something.
Seems fine.
Right, it's not speeding.
No, not speeding, not, yeah, that's reasonable speed.
Continuing publishing. I should have asked this earlier, but this map is oriented north to south, east, west. So whatever cardinal direction it's moving is correct.
Correct, it's moving north.
Jacksonville Drive runs east and west, and South Beach runs north to south.
That's correct.
We have a video here from Ocean K at 6:44 p.m. What is Ocean K?
It's a subdivision in South Jax Beach.
We see a vehicle, that two-tone truck again.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are at 882 13th Avenue. We mentioned earlier expanding our search to 9th Street and 13th Street. And then here we also see that the start time, the timestamp has been corrected.
Right.
And we saw that two-tone truck with another vehicle passing behind it. (901 7th Street South). Actual time 1850, which would be 6:50 p.m., correct?
That's correct.
We see that.
Mm-hmm.
You see that truck going by again and again. It appears when you watch it, there's something in the bed of that truck.
Correct.
The jury will obviously have this in the jury room with them. This is on Windows Media Player. If you pause it and hit key E, you can go frame by frame. And this is Shedder Avenue.
Heading towards the police department.
Okay. You mentioned earlier builder's choice and also a refrigeration.
Correct. Jack's Refrigeration was back on 9th Street. This is builder's choice in public storage.
What I wanted to ask was the video that we're seeing on the map that was more south, would it be fair to say mostly residential cameras?
Yes.
And then now here we're further north, we're starting to get into more
Commercial properties.
commercial properties. In the area where the homicide occurred, are there very many businesses or commercial properties?
No, it's pretty much all residential.
And here we are showing the approximate actual corrected time of 6:49 p.m. We can see the blue two-tone truck. And you made attempts on this video in particular to see if you could get a tag.
This one in the 882 13th that you saw a couple of minutes ago.
You were unable to make out a tag number on this.
That's correct.
All right, we're seeing right here on Penman Road and Shutter, this is the Jacksonville Beach Police Station. You all obviously have surveillance. So we see here at 6:52 that two-ton truck driving past the police station. And again, over here, do we see that two-ton truck?
Blue top, blue bottom.
This road here that this truck is traveling on, is that Cheddar Avenue?
That is Cheddar Avenue.
If you keep driving Cheddar Avenue west, what do you get to eventually?
You're gonna run into Pablo Hamlet. It's an assisted living facility.
And is that kind of the dead end of Cheddar Avenue?
That is the dead end of Cheddar Avenue.
So here we see indicated the camera for Pablo Hamlet, that assisted living facility you spoke about. What is this property, if you come back down here, what is this property here?
That's part of the assisted living facility. It's just a four-story building. Just one solid address.
And to get to this property, is this how you would come in through Cheddar?
That's the only way you can get there.
So we see here from this camera angle, and this is a video with an incorrect timestamp.
Why?
Actual time, 6:53:16 p.m. So we're still about an hour ahead of the homicide. In this video, we see that two-ton truck backing up. And right here, just to orient the jury, this camera, that assisted living facility that I just circled in the last frame, is behind us, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then where is Cheddar, if we're looking at this?
Cheddar is right here. Like there's a little, I guess, cul-de-sac dead end that kind of circles around right here. But Cheddar is back up this way. This is all Pablo Hamlet parking lot.
What is here? What is this way on this side of
That's the back side of Pablo Hamlet.
And if you keep going out Cheddar, what property is located here in between? Hold on. I don't want to talk over you because Miss Melanie, our court reporter, is going to give me the stink eye if I keep doing that. In between this assisted living facility and Cheddar Avenue, is there another property right here?
Discovery School.
The Discovery School. And can you explain to the jury what the Pablo Hamlet surveillance is going to show? There's quite a bit of time this truck is sitting here, correct?
Yeah, so we watched it, watched this video a lot to see if we could see someone walking away from it to it. But it's just back then sitting there in the back of a cul-de-sac. Like it's, I don't want to say a parking area, but vehicles have parked there and do park there. But backing in that like, U-shaped area is
How long,
not
approximately,
unusual.
if you can recall, about how long does this truck sit here?
20, 30 minutes?
So we've included the entirety of the 23 minutes it's sitting here. I'm going to kind of move it along if I can.
Yeah.
So the entirety of the time of this 23 minutes, this truck remains here, and we can tell that because its headlight is still visible, correct?
The back taillight, actually.
Taillight.
Yeah.
So we see at some point during the video that the taillight
How many front tail lights do you have?
appears to go dim.
Correct.
during this 23 minutes, we're going to see other vehicles and people coming back into that living facility. Is that correct?
Correct.
Right here, though, this is just like a cul-de-sac cut-in. There's no apartments here. There's no businesses.
No, it's just a cul-de-sac.
There's no formal parking spots drawn.
I don't think so.
And then we see headlights or taillights coming back on. And then they dim again. You can see a little cat. The parking
Who
lot
cares?
entirety. And they're dimming, and then we can see that the truck pulls out at the actual corrected time of 7:12 p.m., correct?
Correct.
So the map we discussed earlier, that Pablo Hamlet at Cheddar, if you go down 15th, you hit the Discovery School, and then right next to the Discovery School is going to be 1511 Marsh Inlet, the home of Mr. Gardner and Mr. Hernandez. And as you mentioned, going down 15th Street, you've got Cradle Creek down here with no cameras, and then the golf course with no cameras. The next available footage is going to be this camera we looked at previously on Fairway Lane.
25 Fairway. Correct.
25 Fairway Lane. So there was no available footage from that point that truck left Pablo Hamlet until this camera at 25 Fairway Lane. Fairway Lane.
That's correct.
So here we have at 7:47, we see that truck. And then, is this one of those videos you discussed where we actually see the truck followed by that black Volkswagen Atlas?
Correct.
And Corporal, for the next few minutes of surveillance, we're going to see that truck and then the victim's vehicle, and then we're going to see the homicide video, correct?
Correct.
So 7:50 p.m., there's that truck. Again, the truck. And this time, does he appear to be moving at a higher rate of speed than the previous videos?
Definitely following pretty closely behind the white pickup truck.
And we're approximately a minute and 15 seconds from the homicide. And we're seeing what appears to be the Volkswagen Atlas. So it's a couple seconds behind that truck.
Correct.
Seven 25 p.m. We have that Nest camera. We see a white truck. We see that two-tone truck. And then we're going to see the victim's Atlas passing by as well. And at 7:51:11, that two-ton truck is going by. Fair to say that.
Hey, and how did he know where to put the tire? Like, what if someone else drove up first? Right now, we are seeing the video that The Atlas, which the victim is in, is right behind him, like 15 seconds behind him. So he must have really hurried out and thrown the tire on the road. That's how I get it.
Decently high rate of speed for the area.
I would say over the speed limit.
Okay. And then we have the victim's vehicle behind. Sound's not on? Let's see. Sure this is on. There we go. So Corporal, we see a black placard sign. Was there audio of gunshots collected from other ring cameras in the area that did not show the homicide?
Sanctuary Way South, correct.
So we're going to hear 3 shots from a different camera and then see the homicide on the 4th shot. Is that right?
That's correct.
So 75111 is the suspect vehicle. $751.32. So the truck is about 20 seconds ahead of the victim's vehicle, give or take.
That's not a lot of room, 20 seconds.
We see that figure you described walking and then running out of frame. And Corporal, is that the video that you described earlier showing the figure that eventually was identified as the suspect in this case, Henry Tenen?
Correct.
After Henry Tenen was identified, did you go back and look for a figure on foot that matched his description and matched the homicide timeline?
Yes.
All right, we see Grande Boulevard, and we saw this same view earlier with the boat, when we could see that tire in the back of the vehicle. So we're now at 7:53:40 p.m., and we appear to see no object in the back of that truck now.
Correct.
And would you say, earlier I asked you, it appeared to be driving at a normal rate of speed, would you say that that vehicle is now traveling at an excessive rate of speed in the neighborhood?
Definitely above the speed limit.
Following receiving this video and seeing that the shooter was on foot and not in a vehicle, and the identification of Henry Tenen, did you all look for video surveillance showing a truck and a shooter separated from each other? A vehicle leaving the scene as well as an individual on foot leaving the scene?
Like 2 different times, yes.
And what does that indicate to you?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
Well, the timing is different. So we saw the vehicle go by, and we see someone go by on foot.
Correct.
Common
Yeah.
sense.
The vehicle is gone.
Right.
This suspect is just walking, away from the homicide scene.
Okay, so the suspect walking is not in the truck.
Yes.
We see here a figure on foot.
Where's his truck now?
We see some minutes later, after we watch that truck speed down Grande, we see this figure on foot following a few minutes behind. And here we see that Ocean K surveillance showing a truck, and then 18 minutes, 36 seconds later, that same camera picks up that figure on foot, correct?
Correct.
Where's his truck?
I see a timestamp for 7:50, which is about 8 minutes after the homicide, and we see that truck backing back into that same cul-de-sac that it was in earlier.
Yeah, someone else is driving it, but again, they only have one killer. Dude had definitely done it before, in my opinion. Yeah, he seems very calm. If that's the shooter, he's very calm.
And then appears to turn. Were you all able to obtain footage or find that blue truck between Ocean K and Pablo Hamlet? Hang on, let me pause this.
Yeah. You're talking after the. I don't remember. Again, I got promoted in April, so I went away from investigations, and people kind of took up what I was doing.
So we see here an hour and 43 seconds since Ocean K, the police department surveillance picks up that figure on foot again, correct?
Correct. Correct.
How dumb are you walking past the police station? You must know that they have cameras on the police station.
Here another angle from the police station surveillance. We see that same figure walking. And again, is this Cheddar Road, Cheddar Avenue?
Cheddar.
And does this,
Cheddar. Sorry.
and does this lead all the way back to that dead end cul-de-sac at Pablo Hamlet?
It does.
Corporal Wallace, other than collecting and reviewing the surveillance video to assist the detectives in this case, you didn't participate in any witness interviews and ongoing investigation, did you?
I think I assisted Detective Lamont with an interview of Miss Hurry, and then I think that was it.
You were assisting mainly in this capacity with the surveillance, and you did not participate in the arrests of Mr. Fernandez, Ms. Gardner, or Mr. Tennant.
That's correct.
Was that the wife pulling into the station? Didn't she just get called
Yes.
later? I thought she said it was sometime
Further
later.
questions, Your Honor?
All right, let me see the lawyers at sidebar without the court reporter. Break, we'll start back. It'll take you some time to get back there at 11:05, okay? So leave your notepads in your chair and you can take your
Come on. Come on. Dævlen da også, det er da tralleren. My YouTube went down. My YouTube went down. Come on, YouTube. Get back up. Come on. Be a good little YouTube. Why the hell did YouTube just crash for me? I'm sorry, everyone. YouTube just
Can never see.
became dumb. Mm-mm-mm. Good thing we know where we were. Share with audio.
And you wanted to get a lot of. You took a lot of time to look at a lot of footage in this case. Is that fair?
Fair.
You wanted everything to be as accurate as possible. Is that right?
Yes.
Took time to try to match times, and I think if I understood you correctly, that was not the first time you had seen that video before today, correct?
That is correct. One time.
So and you agree with me that accuracy is important, right?
Yes.
This is a big case, it's an important case.
Yes.
All right. So let's just start with one thing I think you'll agree with me is just flat out wrong about that video, okay?
Is it published to the jurors?
It is. Members of the jury, can you see that?
You see it? Okay, maybe proceed.
All right, so this is,
Should be.
well, hold on, let me ask my question.
Sure, go ahead.
My question to you is, this is the part of the video where the blue two-tone truck, as you say, comes back to Pablo Hamlet, correct?
Correct.
And you and I know, and you know now what the mistake is because you see it, this homicide was at 7:52, correct?
Correct.
And on this video, the state put in evidence and asked you detailed questions about, you said that this is the truck coming back at 7:50, correct?
I did not say 750.
Well, the video says 7:50, correct?
That's
wrong.
No, I'll try and fix it on my downtime. It's because I tried to set up my audio the right way, and now it's fucking up.
Wrong.
Should be 8 o'clock.
Right. It can't come back at 7:50 because it would never match the timeline. So if that in fact is the truck, it's either the time is wrong in that video or that's not the truck.
The time's wrong in that video.
That's what your position is, the time is wrong.
That's correct.
Okay. So
Did that remove the echo when I did that? Because then I just can't use my soundboard again. I'll have to figure that out later.
now let's go back to the first time that the truck goes to Pablo Hamlet, okay?
Okay.
May I approach the evidence, Your Honor?
Yes.
I hope that fixed
May I
it.
just take this binder
I'll work
with me?
on it later. Okay, yep. Well, that's because I played that soundboard earlier and it's things feeding into things. I'll try and fix it later. Because why audio suck. Okay, Dodo, Yoda, it is. We need an adult in the roommates. I don't know what's that. Sorry. I'll try and fix it tomorrow, or else I just like that I could play crickets because every time Zach gets in here, I get bored and I just hear crickets in my brain. So that's why I wanted a cricket one. But I'll try and work on it. At least I figured out how to play my soundboard. Now I just needed to not make an echo. I could call Shizzy, but then Shizzy would just get me a copyright strike on some music I didn't know he downloaded. That joke.
I'm going to show you what's been marked by the defense as exhibit number 26, okay? Maybe turn it the other way, Miss Day. Okay, can you see that, Corporal?
It's on the screen.
Okay, fair enough. Can you see that?
That's correct.
All right, this is a daytime photo of the area of Pablo Hamlet where you have testified the truck backed up?
Correct.
Okay. So just to give the jury some idea of what we're talking about, the assisted living facility is that big building that's parked there?
On the left-hand side, correct.
And then there's some signs in between the roadway and the little mini cul-de-sac. Do you see those signs?
Correct.
I assume being in Jax Beach as long as you have, you know that those signs say that you're being recorded.
Can you tell me when this picture was taken?
Do you think those signs are new?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you
It's 812 something. It says on the picture.
dispute that there are signs there that say you're being recorded?
I don't dispute, I just don't know.
Okay, sure. Let's just use what we know to be true then. That area is being recorded, correct?
At the time, yes, it was.
Sure. And that's how you have the evidence that you have, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so it wouldn't shock you that there's a sign there that says you're being recorded, right?
Yeah, but it would shock me, I guess.
Okay. Oh, can I see that photo back? Showing you what's been entered in evidence as defense number 27. It's another daytime photo. Can you see that, Corporal?
That's correct. Yes, I can.
If you were backed up into that spot and you were sitting in the passenger, driver's seat, or whatever vehicle, and you were looking out, that building is an apartment or condo complex to the left, correct?
That's correct.
So that would be just on the other side of the street to where you sort of saw that station wagon parked, just maybe a little bit forward or east.
Station wagon was in the previous photo?
It wasn't in the previous photo, it was in that long video that we all watched.
Yeah, okay.
You remember there's a station wagon sort of on the right-hand side for that 17 minutes? I'll show it to you again.
Okay,
But nonetheless,
sure.
it's on the roadway as you're going into where the assisted living facility is.
Yes,
So just so everyone understands, you have this apartment complex that's over here. You have the parking spot, and then kind of behind it, in between those two things is where the truck may have been parked.
was parked, yes.
Was parked. So there's lots of residential living areas that surround that spot, correct?
It's a lot of units, correct.
Okay. I'm sorry, this has been marked as defense. 28 for the record. Corporal, that's a close-up of those signs.
Correct.
And then if you look to the left, there's like a Mini, is that, that brand of car?
Correct.
Okay. And then just beyond the Mini, do you see that smoking shack?
It's a gazebo, correct.
Gazebo. Yeah. And that's where people at the assisted living community go back and forth if they want to sit in there, smoke a cigarette, or do anything they want, converse, right?
Sure.
And that's right next to where that little parking spot is where you say the truck backed into, correct?
Correct, yeah. There's the angle of this picture isn't perfect. This brush right here kind of blocks it depending on how far you back up into that cul-de-sac.
Right. And of course, while we were watching that video, you can see cars going in and cars going out.
That's correct.
So fair to say it's surrounded by residential areas, a gazebo. It's not tucked in the middle of nowhere where no one would see what's going on in that cul-de-sac, correct?
Can you, sorry, repeat the question?
That cul-de-sac
Right.
at Pablo Hamlet is not in the middle of nowhere. It's dead center in between two residential buildings that I've shown you, right?
Correct.
And a smoking shack or a gazebo where people may be.
Correct.
This is
Usually used during the day for that smoke shack.
We're talking about what, 7 p.m.? I'm sorry, 6.
Yeah.
6:17, that area, that time?
Yeah, I would say mostly used during the day, less at evening.
Don't they smoke on evening breaks as well? I'm a former smoker. I smoked the same amount of cigarettes every day. I smoked 20 cigarettes a day. And it didn't matter if I woke up at 8 in the morning or at 5 in the morning or at 10 in the morning. When the day was done, I'd smoke 20 cigarettes. I smoked a pack a day. So if you're telling me that the daytime worker and the evening workers don't smoke the same amount of cigarettes, never ever heard that. I would even think that people on evening duty might even smoke more because there's more activity during the day.
Okay.
If it's the people living there, that's a different story maybe.
Can I have that
But
photo back?
still, no. I would think smoking at night is just as much as smoking at day.
just so we're clear,
How much water
your
do you need to
timeline on
drink?
the first video that you stand by and you say is correct, the truck backs up at approximately 6:53 p.m. and leaves around 7:12 p.m. I'm not trying to play gotcha.
Yeah, I need to go back and look at it, but correct.
Sure, load it up, please. Sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
And you said, while we're pulling that up so you can verify those times, that as part of that time that you took to find all the surveillance and to review all the surveillance, you watched that video multiple times, correct?
Correct.
That was an important piece of evidence, correct?
Correct.
And you can never see a person going to or from that truck at any point during that surveillance, can you?
That's correct.
And that's something that you looked for.
That's also correct.
And as you sit here today, there is no evidence of that.
I cannot see anyone walking to or from the car.
Okay. Common sense tells us there has to be a driver in the car, correct?
Yes.
And a point.
Yeah, back when I was working, I would have 2 cigarettes on an 8-hour day. I would have a smoke break and then I would have my lunch break. That's the 2 cigarettes I would smoke. But I would still smoke 20 cigarettes a day. That's just because you have a pack of cigarettes, you smoke a pack of cigarettes. And because kids weren't allowed to start smoking in Denmark, so they took away, we had 10 packs, 10 cigarette packs. If I had a pack with 10 cigarettes, I would smoke 10 cigarettes a day. But then they opted to, you could just get 20s. And I smoked 20 a day because I smoked a pack a day. I don't know why, but that's just how my mind worked.
That I think the state asked you, and maybe I didn't understand that it was so clear, so I'll ask you again. The shooter in this case leaves on foot from the homicide scene, correct?
Correct.
So without beating around the bush, you can't be the driver and the shooter in this case.
I don't want to say, I mean, can you not?
No. Where did the truck go?
The vehicle.
Yeah. Maybe I'm not understanding your question.
Yeah, maybe you don't, because I think this is really an easy question.
Okay.
The person who is the person who you say is the shooter,
Yes.
you identified as walking and then running from the scene.
What I'm saying is, could they have been the driver first and then the passenger, or the passenger first and then the driver second? That's all I was saying.
Okay. There's 2 people in the car. That's for certain.
That's correct.
Because you can't be the person running from the scene and the person driving the vehicle away from the scene, correct?
Correct.
And in all of the surveillance that we went through for the last hour and a half, that you have poured over, did you ever see any surveillance of Mr. Fernandez?
No.
Did you ever see any surveillance consistent with anybody else getting into that blue truck?
No.
And in this video, you would agree with me that there were times where whoever made this compilation that you had seen before you came to court and you testified to, there were times where you thought it was important, because you testified to it, that there were gaps, meaning 5 minutes later, like it would come on the screen. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And it would say 5 minutes later, 18 minutes later, 1 hour and 45 minutes later. Do you recall those messages, so to speak, coming up as part of the video?
Correct.
Okay, but I want to show you where you didn't put that on the video, because you know that at approximately 7:12, and do you need to see that to refresh your recollection as to when that truck leaves?
Corporal, may I answer?
I'm sorry. Oh, when it leaves on the video. Sorry.
Sure. So the correct, and I'm not talking about the time that the video says it leaves. I want to talk in fact, what time you think it actually is.
Okay.
Because just for the record, we both agree that this video time is not accurate.
That's correct.
You had to do some math.
Correct.
And it's approximately a 17-minute fast video.
Correct.
Okay. I'm just trying to get it to the end so you can verify for me that it's approximately 7:12.
I don't know. I don't drink wine.
Okay, take your time. Okay. Was I pretty accurate when I told you it was 7:12? Yes. And you agree with me? Yes. Okay. Now, the next time, do you agree with me that between when that vehicle pulls out and the next time on this video, you see that blue truck, no message pops up to tell anybody who would be watching this video that there's a gap like you do the other few times in this video? You understand my question?
I see what you're saying. There's no like 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later.
Doesn't tell you. So now let's look and see what time the next time this video picks up. Okay, so we all watched it together. It shows the truck pulling out, and then it shows an animation as if it's just going down the road, and then you would agree with me, the next time it hits anything, it's 7:47.
Correct.
That's 36 minutes later.
Correct.
You have no idea where that blue truck is for 36 minutes.
I don't know.
There's not a single piece of surveillance that you can provide that gives this jury any indication of what was happening during that 36 minutes.
Not to my knowledge.
And fair enough, although it may not say it, you agree with me, I've now pointed out that it's an accurate approximate 36-minute gap.
Correct.
Okay. Some of the things that I'm sure you were looking for on that blue two-tone truck, did you ever notice that the tag light was a bright tag light versus other tag lights? Is that ever something that caught your attention?
Not necessarily. Okay. Yeah, just
that wasn't one thing that you sort of, when you were trying to identify, and let's just back up a little bit.
Sure.
That truck is certainly easier to identify in the dusk hour than it is in the night hour.
correct.
In the night hour, harder to identify is just a fact, right?
You're using brake lights, the, I guess, truck bed light, the front headlights, and then the actual shape of the car.
And you never noticed anything like that tag light was particularly bright.
I don't think so. I think it was just illuminated.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when we get to the end of the video, okay, it ends with what you all described as a shadowy figure walking past the police department, correct?
Yes.
But one thing I didn't ask you is the Pablo Hamlet camera is not motion activated.
That's correct.
You gave a few examples and you said, you know, there are some people that have cameras. The guy with the dolly came out, it triggered it, and then lucky enough for the investigation, you got some footage, right?
Correct.
And then you talked about other times where there's still cameras that just record everything all the time.
Correct.
So to give a fair example, Pablo Hamlet is a camera that records things all the time.
Correct.
So if we want to know what happened at Pablo Hamlet, we don't have to guess, right?
Correct.
So if we want to make it so that the blue truck gets to Pablo.
I think they don't recommend drinking, but I think like a glass a day or something like that. Again, I don't drink, so I don't know. But it's been out there that a glass a day can be good for you.
Hamlet, and we think that is the truck, we'll see it at Pablo Hamlet, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now with all those facts that we can agree on together, at the end of your video, when the shadowy figure, who I won't beat around the bush, you think that's Henry Tenon, right?
Yes.
Okay. Henry Tenon is walking past the police station, correct?
Correct.
And Henry Tenon is walking toward Pablo Hamlet. That's what you ended your testimony with, right?
Correct.
And it sort of makes this illusion that he's going back to where that truck may have been, correct?
He's heading back towards where the truck ended, correct?
Right. But what we know, because that camera records all the time, is there is no video of Henry Tenon going back to where that truck was.
Not to my knowledge, that's correct.
Right, sure, that would be important, and you would have shown that to the jury, right?
Correct.
And of course, if the truck was there, if the concept is, well, he's heading back toward where we know that truck was before, then let's go look. Is the truck there? We know the truck is not there. Otherwise, we could show it to the jury, right?
Sorry, say it one more time.
I'll make it clear. The truck is not at Pablo Hamlet any other time than when you've shown the jury the truck is at Pablo Hamlet.
Not to my knowledge, correct.
Right. Because, and it's not because you're now just figuring this out. You looked to see if the truck went back to Pablo Hamlet, right?
Yes.
That was part of your scouring all sorts of surveillance clips and watching all of the time that you put in, you would have seen it if it was there. And of course, it's not in the video and it's not there, correct?
Now, also don't forget these videos do overwrite themselves. And so there were times where we went back and forth to other places. I don't know if the investigators went back and tried to obtain more video after the fact. But you know, what we have is, I think, what we were able to get at the time.
All right. Corporal, let's shoot each other straight. The video that we have from that night is that night, correct?
Yes.
You have it earlier in the evening, like we talked about, between the hours of 6:53 and 7:12, right?
Yes.
And then you told me there's a corrected time where it goes back at 8 p.m.
About 8 p.m.
About 8
correct.
p.m. after the homicide, and you stand here today and you're telling the jury, I think that's the truck. You told me that right in the beginning.
Yes.
And then there's video of Henry Tenen about an hour and, I don't know, 58 minutes, a couple hours later, walking past the police station, pretty close to the area, right?
Correct.
You can't possibly think that in that gap, 2 hours, that there was a video override and somehow you guys just don't have footage from 2 hours later. You're not testifying to that, are you?
What I'm saying is that when you go to get the video, let's just say you go back one time and then you maybe go back a month later or weeks later and videos do rewrite themselves. So if you're looking for more data, which we did do, where we only had like an hour before, 2 hours before, you want to go back and you want to get more data. I mean, if I could go back and get the entire day, I would have done that. But at the time, we only got certain segments. And I don't recall if that was one of the instances where we got a fixed amount of data and then we went back and asked for more and it was already overwritten. I don't remember.
Oh, we have our daily troll. Hello. Say hi to the troll, everyone. So nice to have you here. Are you the same as yesterday? You sound the same. Dum, dum, dummy, dummy, dum.
Well, nonetheless, on that night, from the clips that you do have, you have no information that blue truck went back to Pablo Hamlet. Because it'd be on video.
I don't believe so. Correct.
And you have no video of Henry Tenen walking toward Pablo Hamlet after he's last seen on the police camera, Jax Beach police camera videos, correct?
Well, he is walking towards it. He's walking west, but actually arriving to that location, no.
And in this case, what can you offer in terms of videos? Because I want to make sure it's clear. There's lots of surveillance after that time period in Jax Beach, meaning after the homicide, you have video at Grande, correct?
Yes.
You have video at Fairway Lane, correct?
Correct.
And I'm going to represent to you that all of that post-homicide camera video that we briefly just talked about, more video at Grande, more at Fairway, more on what's the main road that goes up? Where the park and the fire station, no.
South Beach Parkway?
South Beach Parkway.
Yep.
Okay. And Ocean K.
Mm-hmm.
You have video of trucks that night, post the homicide, that were provided to us in discovery that you all collected, correct?
Yes.
And I noticed in the video, none of that exists. Do you not know where that blue truck went at all after it left Pablo Hamlet?
Which instance? At
the second time.
It's from the second time, so essentially
8 p.m.
Yeah, that 36-minute gap.
Thank you, Lee2714, for becoming a YouTube member.
Is that what you're asking for?
Yeah, that's a better question.
Sure.
The 36-minute gap, just so I want everyone to be clear, is before the homicide.
Correct.
We talked about that. Then it's your testimony that after the homicide, the blue truck goes back to Pablo Hamlet briefly. It looks like it backs in and it pulls out.
Correct.
And you told me you think that's approximately 8 o'clock, and we've corrected the time to the video, right?
Correct.
And the video ends after Henry Tenen walks toward that area. Is that fair?
Correct, yes.
So I'm asking you, just to kind of back up, you collected a lot of surveillance in Jax Beach post that time, correct?
Correct.
And I'm going to represent to you, it's in evidence for the jury to see. But I'm asking you, I'm doing what criminal defense lawyers should never do. I'm not asking you a leading question. Do you have evidence of where that blue truck went after it pulled out of Pablo Hamlet the second time at 8 p.m.?
I think we have it going by Ocean K. Am I mistaken on that? You go back and...
I don't know.
I think you do.
Yeah.
That it reroutes, it does the loop again, correct?
It goes back towards Ocean K, I believe, and then after that, I don't think there's anything from Ocean K until back to Pablo Hamlet. Maybe
there's nothing back to Pablo
yes.
Hamlet, right? Let's just be clear here. I'm not trying to confuse you.
Sure.
You don't ever have it going back to Pablo Hamlet. That's what I've been asking you.
Yeah,
the last 10 minutes.
think so.
Sorry?
I'm trying to remember. We're going through two different timelines here.
I want to make sure we're crystal clear, and I'll take the blame for that.
Okay.
There's two timelines. There's a pre-homicide timeline, meaning, let's just walk through it real quick. You showed the jury the blue truck in the almost daylight hours, the dusk hours, before the homicide, go to the homicide scene, correct?
Yes.
That's the one that you described as sort of unusual.
Correct.
It makes the U-turn, right?
Correct.
It's driving very slow.
Correct.
Just so we're clear, that's before the homicide.
Yes.
Then it goes to Pablo Hamlet, correct?
Correct.
And it stays there for that time period that I've asked you about many, many times, which is the 6:53 to 7:12, correct?
Yes.
Then it leaves, and then there's a 36-minute gap.
That's correct.
You don't know where it is at that point.
Know where it is at that time.
Then you
No, he's actually asking some poignant questions because they just make a lot of assumption. And again, how is it connected to Mario? That's the thing. They claim that this guy went there to do the bidding of Mario, but they kind of just stops. They don't talk about where the truck went after. Because again, if you just shot someone, aren't you just gonna hightail it out of there?
testify that you think it gets picked up and it goes to the homicide scene, correct?
Correct.
And then at 7:52, there's a homicide.
Correct.
And then you see the truck post the homicide.
Yes.
And that's where Ms. Stifler asked you, does it appear to be driving a little fast? That you said yes,
I'm sorry, Jacksonville driving Grande Boulevard, yes.
right?
Correct.
And then you see on Ocean K,
Correct.
and then you see it up toward the police station and the public storage.
Correct.
And then you see it past the police station. That's the video where all the people are on the sidewalk and the truck passes right by them.
Correct.
Right? So we're not talking, and another question is, that truck passed people right there on the sidewalk at the police station, correct?
Yes.
Okay. It wasn't in the middle of the night. We're talking between 7:52 and 8 p.m. on a Wednesday night, right?
Yes.
And then, just to continue, because I want this to be so crystal clear, then the truck goes back to Pablo Hamlet, correct?
Yes.
And you see it pull in
Yes.
and pull out.
Yes.
Doesn't stay there for
Very long.
very long.
Correct.
And that is the last time you ever have that truck at Pablo Hamlet.
To my knowledge, yes.
Okay, that we can agree.
Okay, sure.
All right. I certainly am not trying to confuse you. I'm just trying to get the facts.
Sure.
Then, if I understood your testimony correct, you think that you do have evidence of the truck again in other places of Jack's Beach? Or were you confused and you didn't understand my question?
No, I was confused. That's what we have, the evidence that we have.
Okay, so you would not feel comfortable testifying that in the clips of all the other surveillance, because again, let's continue with this timeline to make sure you're not confused. I did ask you, you did collect more surveillance.
They're not claiming it's Mario's trucks. They're claiming that that is Ethan's truck, the Pure. That truck was found at one of Ethan's friend's house. So they're not claiming that it's Mario's truck. At least not in any way we have heard so far.
After the homicide, meaning after 8 o'clock.
Yes.
You have surveillance at Ocean K after 8 o'clock.
Yes.
You have surveillance at Grande after 8 o'clock.
Yes.
You have surveillance at Fairway and America after 8 o'clock.
Correct.
Okay. And I'm going to submit to you that that's in evidence for the jury to look at.
Yes.
They can make a decision if they see the blue truck driving around Jack's Beach. But what your testimony is, if I understand it, is that you don't feel comfortable saying where that blue truck is after 8 p.m.
Correct.
So it takes Mr. Tennant a couple hours on foot to get back up to that area, right?
Correct.
And it would be your testimony, you have no idea where that blue truck is during that time period.
Correct.
And as part of collecting all the surveillance and speaking to witnesses, nobody puts that blue truck at Marsh Inlet, the residence of Mr. Fernandez and Shanna Gardner at that time, correct?
To my knowledge, that is correct.
Of course. And nobody has any surveillance at Marsh Inlet that puts that blue truck over there at Marsh Inlet, correct?
To my knowledge, correct.
Because that would be included in the video. That'd be really good evidence against Mr. Fernandez if you did, right?
That would be good evidence.
Sure. And you don't have that.
Do not.
May I have a moment with counsel, Your Honor?
Yes.
Corporal, I'm going to borrow some of these photographs the defense showed you. Still up there? Gotcha. I got it. Thank you. Corporal, defense counsel showed you a photograph of Pablo Hamlet with some signs, and you asked when this photo was taken because you could not recall if those signs were present back in 2022. So I think in fairness, you should know this photograph was taken by defense counsel in July of 2026. Does that give you any information or refresh your memory as to whether those signs were present back in 2022?
Again, I can't say if they were there or not.
Okay. And for the record, this is Defense Exhibit 26. I'm showing you Defense Exhibit number 28, which Mr. Dreiser showed you as well, with a little smoking gazebo here. There we go. And I'm circling the left-hand side of my screen. And these signs here, which I'm circling on the right-hand side of the screen. The cul-de-sac where the truck is located is around to this corner, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So if you were backed in the truck, you would be adjacent to these bushes and not, and I just want to make it clear because maybe I misunderstood, Mr. Dreiser, you would not be right here next to the smoking shack, would you?
No, likely hidden from view.
Mr. Dreiser mentioned a gap in video footage for 36 minutes when the blue truck leaves Pablo Hamlet for the first time and is not seen again until Fairway Lane prior to the homicide. And I'm showing you State's Exhibit 209, which we've previously gone over. Actually, I'm going to show you State's 208. This is kind of a silly question, but you can't know what you can't know, right?
Sounds right.
Earlier, you testified that here, this flag is 1511 Marsh Inlet, and that there are no surveillance cameras until we hit 25 Fairway Lane. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
So the truck, theoretically, for 36 minutes could have been parked, gone by from Pablo Hamlet here, right by Marsh Inlet, which is on the corner, right?
It is.
And parked anywhere along this area with no cameras to observe its whereabouts.
That's correct.
And I want to show you a photograph that Mr. Dreiser did not show you, but was actually marked and entered into evidence as Defense Exhibit 30. This is a photograph of the gravel parking lot at the Discovery School, which you testified to earlier. So if you were to come, shutter here, would you reach Pablo Hamlet?
Yes.
And if you were to leave Pablo Hamlet and turn back here, is this the parking lot of the Discovery School?
That's correct.
You testified earlier that you went to the Discovery School and they did not have any working surveillance cameras at the time of the homicide, correct?
That's correct.
And this residence right here, what residence is that?
1511 Marsh Inlet.
The home of Mr. Fernandez and Ms. Gardner?
That's correct.
I have no further questions. Thank you, Corporal.
So now we're just implying that they went there without having evidence of that. I liked you yesterday, State. Now you're starting to do the little state tricks where you are not showing evidence, you're just implying evidence. I don't like that. Show us what you got. Don't show us, hey, they could have been here. It could also have been the Martians. It could also have been the aliens. We don't know. Maybe it's Freemasons. I'm two mums. Welcome back as a muffin top. I know you've been a muffin top before. Good to see you. But that's some BS. Oh, they could have done it. They could have been here. Yeah, they could also have been at Target and buying toilet paper. I was looking for toilet paper yesterday. We didn't have any 4-ply at the store I was in. I don't like 3-ply. Why am I telling you this? I don't know. Sometimes I share too much.
I have a brief recross
New grounds.
from the grounds that she just covered.
Okay.
Corporal, it's Wednesday at 6:58 to 7:12. That's the time period we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Then post that to the homicide gap, correct? It's the 36 minutes that she just asked you about.
Correct.
That's a school, correct?
Yes.
Who told you that there was a truck parked in that gravel parking lot that matched the description of the truck you're looking for? The answer is no one. No one told you there was a blue truck there, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Nobody told you there was a blue truck matching the description of the truck that you've been testifying to at the Paddle Creek Observatory, correct?
That's also correct.
And nobody told you that along the whole roadway where the golf course is and the nice little wooden fence that makes up, what is that, 15th?
15th, that's correct.
Nobody told you there was a blue truck parked there that matched the description of the truck that was blasted all over the news that everybody was looking for, did they?
That's correct.
You won't buy that. You won't buy that government one ply that you got in school. Wouldn't never do that. It's you need the four. That's fluffy and nice.
No further questions.
Anything further for the witness?
You
No, Your
would
Honor.
use a wooden board.
Right, thank you, Corporal.
Thank you.
Members of the jury, it's 10 minutes to noon. We'll go ahead and take our lunch recess at this time. If you would leave your notepads on your chair, retire to the jury room and we'll set up your lunch, okay?
Thank you. Are you coming back? We have to. The tracing paper that smears not wipes. Yeah, that's what the Evil Eyes is using. She likes that. I like the roughness. I grew up a military brat. It's the same with the hand towels that we used in the military. You needed 45 of them just to get dry hands. Why just buy something that's a little more expensive, but where you don't need 35 of them? That's weird. But they will be back most likely in about an hour. I'm going to end this because YouTube doesn't like 4-hour plus streams, and set up a new stream, and we will be back at around 1 o'clock Eastern for the afternoon part. I don't know how long they're going to go today. Yesterday, they talked about going to about 5 o'clock. But thank you all so much for joining. Follow the different social media, and you will get notified when we come back. I bought a bidet when I broke both arms. Dignity saver. Well, I'm renting, so I can't install a bidet. Bidets are not. That's more like down in France and stuff like that, where they have fancy buttons. We just use paper, but I like 4-ply. It's soft on my little buttocks. Sometimes you share too much, Baker. Yeah, but that makes people steal your dreams and make fun of them. Yeah, I'll survive. I will survive. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da.